Back into the alien air shaft we go, and this is where we left off, and it's time now to create the entrance to the air shaft. All right, I'm going to make that iconic entranceway, and here's how we're going to do this. We're going to select that. We want a section. We want a section of this. And let's grab that. Make sure we get all the way down there. I think we got what we need. Shift D. Let's pull that out and P to break it out. So we've got that. And I'm going to join that. No, I'm not going to join that. I'm not going to do that. We're going to get rid of this side of it. Okay. That. Let's make a section here. Doesn't have to be too long, too big. Just big enough to put that circular thing in there. So we'd have that, and then of course if we bring the 3D cursor right there, we could mirror that over to the other side. I'll turn on clipping, and we'd have our section. So let's turn that off for now, and let's just focus just on that 3, and we'll look right in. Okay, so this is what we want right here, and I'm going to create a pattern on here. Shift D. I'll scale it down, and we're going to do our usual here. Make sure that's a separate object, and come in here, select it, and I'm going to Shift Control B and pull. We want that kind of pattern, and extrude that back, and let's get rid of that, and let's get rid of that mirror there. So we're going to have that going through, and we'll do our circle in there. Yeah, okay, we can always extend it if we need more room. Okay, I'm going to select it and make sure that my polys are facing the right way, and select this, and I'm going to put on a boolean and drag it to the top on difference and do that. I'll apply that, and we'll get rid of that. And I'm going to grab this, and what am I going to do with this? I guess I'm going to do the usual where I come back and F to make a face. And yeah, we'll go ahead and bevel this a little bit by hand so we can see that. Slash key, right? So we'll have this stuff, and we'll have this thing here, and I think that's going to be okay. I'm going to select here and Shift S cursor to selected, and I'm going to bring in, I guess I'm going to bring in a cylinder now, and I might make it something like 24 vertices. I probably don't really need that many. Rotate Y 90, but just think of where we're going to create that vent opening. And if I wanted something like that. So I think I'll go ahead and I'm going to do another boolean on this. Bring it up and select that. I'm just going to hide that. I might be using that. So I got my hole. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to bring that back and scale it in the X. And we're going to make a little ring of sorts. Let's just select these faces and press I to inset, pull it in, and Control E, bridge edge loops. And now I'll select these edges and bevel them, and I'll put probably just like a total of 3 because I'm going to end up doing a subdivision. I don't need the back, so we're not going to see that. So I'll get rid of those. And we'll have this. I'm just going to scale it out a little bit so we don't see the edges at all. Alright, so it's that. Hopefully the size is going to be right. Alright, so now to make the shaft itself. Alright, so there's different ways of doing this, and I think I'll do it like I've done it before. We'll try that and see how well it works. So I'm going to bring in a circle, and I'm going to make it 12 vertices. That may or may not be enough. Let's try this though. Let's get it about the same size here. And then I'm going to either extrude and bring it in, and I'm going to keep zooming in. I'm going to bring it pretty close to the middle. Maybe, you know what, maybe around the size of my cursor there. I see there. Alright, and then I'm going to give, I think, 4 edge loops like that. I think I'll scale this up a little bit bigger. I'm going to box select there. Turn on proportional editing. And I'm looking in an orthographic view, so I'm going to press R to rotate. And I'm going to turn, and notice the size of my circle here as I'm turning this, and it's looking like a spider web. The size of my circle. Okay, so I've done that. And with that done, I think I will go back in and grab those. Proportional editing still on. I'm going to start, let's maybe come out one more and pull. And I've still got a pretty big circle, and I just want to round this a little bit, like that. And then I'm going to come back, Control minus, so I just have the middles. And I'm going to push in, but I'm going to get a smaller circle. And just kind of do this. Now I'll be putting on a subdivision, and we'll see how well this works. Maybe I'll select there. All right, that's okay. Let's just go with that. Okay, so here's what we do once we've done that. I'm going to press 3 for face selection and just select these faces right there. I'm going to Control I to invert the selection, X faces. So I'm left with this blade there. We could try solidify for this. They don't have to be overly thick. So I could try that and say, all right. So let's go Control A. And then Control 2 for 2 subdivisions. And drag an edge loop up here. And we'll drag an edge loop down here. And we'll start with that shape and see how well it works. We can flatten it out if we want with more edge loops. My 3D cursor is still there. I just want to make sure. Yeah, okay. My 3D cursor is still right there, so I'm going to go into edit mode. And I'm going to switch to the spin tool. In the X, click on there. And I've got 360 and 12. And I don't have room for another one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to accept that. I'm going to select it, everything, and Alt-N, recalculate outside, merge by distance, anything going on. Yeah, I removed some. In fact, that pushed them closer together, that removal, and that's exactly what I wanted. And that's the shape that I'm coming out with. Coming up with. I'm going to push it back. Let's turn that off. And that's basically what I want. All right? So I'm going to go with that as my vent. Yeah. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some bars here because it's looking a little bit empty. Actually, just before I do that, I'm going to put some bolts on here. So I'm going to bring in a circle, and I'm going to go for 16 vertices now. Scale it down. Have to make face, rotate Y 90. And let's pull that out. And I'm going to pull it up here. And you know what I might do just to make it a little bit more? I think I'm going to Shift H, focus on this. Let's make this a little bit wider. So Shift Alt and click there, here, and for the moment, let's get rid of that edge. So these ones here, and let's scale Shift X, just make it a little wider. And then I think I'll come back and I'll put that back in there. Yeah. There we go. Alt H, 3. There. That gives me more room. I can even make these a bit bigger to make it a little bit more noticeable. Okay. I'm going to make simple bolts by extruding out. I'm going to delete that face, select everything, rotate Z 180 to flip it back, select this face and Control B, pull, roll back and have just one. So we got that. Let's just Alt N, recalculate outside and shade smooth. Go in and push it in like that. And look here, and then I'm going to take this with my 3D cursor is still right there, Shift D, rotate X 180. I'm going to Control J to join those, Shift D, rotate X 90. Yep, just look, select them, Control J, Shift D, rotate X 45. And we'll join all those together. Let's have a quick look here though, make sure, yeah, okay, that looks good. All right, so we have that, very good. All right, let's come in here and let's steal one of these edges. Just select that, Shift D, and pull it out to somewhere in there. Scale it down and decide how big of a bar I want. Handle, whatever. Something like that. P to break it out. And grab it again. Come on. There we go. Extrude it back in the X. And with that selected, get rid of those edges. Yeah, okay, select it and press 1 for vertex selection and select those. Shift Control B and pull and have 3, 4, or 5. I've got 3. That's fine right there. And let's convert to curve. And in the curve dialog box under geometry, bevel, let's increase the bevel and create a bar, shade smooth. And just see what we think of that. I guess it's pretty central, so that's okay. I'm all right with something like that. Okay, let's make a little grip for that bar. So select those two, Shift D, P to break them out. Select that, go in edit mode, and just S to scale. It won't change its size, it's just length there. That's good. So just S, and then we can increase the depth so it goes bigger and something like that. All right, let's convert that to a mesh. So in the resolution, change that to 3. And where are we? Convert to mesh. Come on in. And in edge selection, Shift Alt and click this edge. After make a face, Shift Alt to click that edge and make a face. They're both selected. Control B, pull, and have just the regular 2 and 1 more. So we've got that there. This one, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to select both of these. I'm going to pull them back a little bit like that. So I'm going to take one of them, do the same thing. Shift D, P to break it out. Select that, increase its depth. So it's like that, but come in and just bring it closer, just so that's where it connects. All right, I'm going to change the resolution on that to 3 and convert it to a mesh. After make face, Control B, do that. Okay, and for the bar, let's just select these points and Shift S, cursor to selected, and let's take this one and just make sure, yeah, that, and let's mirror this down in Z. And apply that mirror. And we got this. And that's a curve still, so we're going to now switch this 3. We're going to convert that to a mesh. And we're going to join all of these things, Control J. And Control 1 if you want a subdivision in there. Yeah, that looks okay. Okay, and then I'm going to select all this and bring the 3D cursor there. And we'll set the origin to the 3D cursor and mirror now to the other side. So we're getting that. Okay. So if we turn the mirror on, we have that so far. Now I'm going to leave you with a little bit of homework here, and that will be to think about what you want to do down here, or up here, or up here. And I may come back having done that, and then you can do what I did if you want, or you do something different. But let's, for the moment, get this stuff all in. Now I am going to texture this in Substance Painter. There might be a little bit in Blender. And I'm going to join stuff together. All right, so let's have a look at this. I put on one subdivision on that. And to tell you the truth, I'm not sure I'm going to keep that. I am going to apply the mirror. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to join those together. Start getting those over there. I'm going to have a look at this. I've got two subdivisions. Can I get by with one? I think I probably could. Not that I'm really trying to save polys that much. This one I'm going to leave as it is, if I'm happy with it. And I did that. I am going to apply that and join it so that there's one on each side. Like that. Okay, the next thing we need is a floor piece for this. So I'm going to take this Shift-D. Let's pull this out. I would have this joining on, something like that. And then we would have this piece. Let's bring that along. And it would snap on like that. Let's see. I might want it in there, but just to get an idea. And then what I would need to do for this piece is I want at least one of these pieces with a long floor. And this piece with a long floor is fine. And this one, what we'll do is we'll change the length of the floor here. So I'm going to come in here, and in wireframe, I'm just going to box select the bottom part. And I'm going to bring it in, and we're going to snap to this edge here. All right, so we have that, and I can put on the mirror for that if we want. So we have that in there. I probably would have it down there because I'm going to shoot my take my images from inside, and but for now what I'll do is I'll put on one more of these sections like this. I'll Shift-D. I've been Shift-D'ing and not Alt-D'ing. Actually, I think to get the connection correct, I will need one more of these. Shift-D. And we'll just build this up. Okay. Yeah, like that. Okay. And then this guy will come in here. So we have that, right? And what we need is something to go in here. The floor is pretty consistent all the way along. A couple of other details, if you really even want them. All right, but we do have that now. And let's have a look just with that one, and maybe with shadow. No, shadow's not going to help us at all. All right, let's have a look with this and see what it's like. Okay. So we've got that, and we're going to need some hanging bulbs. I really do think that I'm probably just going to have it, render from around there. So I probably will move that down. So I don't necessarily need more wires, but if I do, I'll copy this down and decide about that later. But now we have the entrance to the air shaft anyhow. the hanging bulb, and really that's going to be it for the modeling. I have been asked if I would talk about my substance painter methods for this, and so I will. It's not going to be anything special, but I will texture it, and I'll UV unwrap it and texture it in Substance Painter, and so I'll talk about that probably 2 videos down the road. Okay, so thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.